All right. So Dungeon in a Tin was put out as a one-page print and play game. And the tin that they had in mind was an Altoids tin. It's a very small game and should be very compact. This particular version is also on BGG. They're free to download, and this is the deluxe version. And so in typical Pedro Wayne fashion, I've had to bling it out. And so here's my take on this deluxe Dungeon in a Tin build, and I've really become infatuated with this game. I'm just enjoying it so much, and the build was a fun thing to do. Highly recommend it. I put the player board in the lid for us here, and I'm just going to track your different stat levels and the monsters, etc. I also have a on your turn, so a turn sequence card. Also talks a little bit about treasures and how they work in the game, and then of course a little rule book there that talks about all the ins and outs of Dungeon in a Tin. And then here we have our few tokens. Now the tiles have some rooms that are locked, and so to indicate that that room is locked before you can go in there, if you don't have a key yet, we'll just place this token on that lock, and that will indicate that it's still locked. And then once I find a key, it'll just help me track that situation, that that room is then unlocked. And then here we have skill trackers and experience trackers, and then health like that. And this is the princess key. You will find the guard room, and it's going to have a key to the princess's cell, if you can of course kill the guards that are in there. And then once you do find the princess, you will have to have a token here that you can carry with you. She takes up one of your inventory slots, like that. And then we have here a monster tracker right there. And then here, let's get into this. We'll look in here. Of course, I had to, in keeping with the deluxe theme, had to create a insert for this. And then here we have the combat cards and the various dice in here. So here's the combat cards. And so as a warrior, you will get to pick 2 cards. You shuffle these randomly, and this is how your attack is. And these are versus the various attacks that might be coming at you. So you get 2 again at first level, 3 at second level, 4 at third level, and 5 at fourth level, just like that. So there you go. And then here we have miniatures in here as well. Now these miniatures are, they're on the file, they're on the BGG file. They were created by Little Monk, and they have a front and a back to them. Really cool little figures here, and you get a couple of different player characters. You can apparently do this game 2-player, and I think it's best as a solitaire, but if you're going to do it 2-player, you would have to have double the tiles and all that other jazz right there. But so these are the little miniatures, and what I did is I had them printed on a cardstock, and then I think it's a 20-pound cardstock, and then laminated them, and then just cut them out with scissors after I glued the fronts and the backs together. So you have yellow orcs and red orcs and goblins and the heroes. So there is that. And then I wanted this particular cup to be a little bit bigger so that you would also use this as a draw card, or a draw token for when you find treasure, etc. And then of course here is the tiles, and the tiles are nice 3-inch big tiles, go just like this. And then you have your little adventurer, which goes on here like that. And then lastly, the box is a handy little dice tray, just like so, for figuring things out and your combats, etc. Now, how does this work? Well, so what you do is you will have your character sheet here, and then as you adventure, you're going to have 2, right, we talked about this a little bit earlier, 2 combat cards. And so you've got a swipe and you've got an overhead swing right now. And so the way this works is then as you adventure through, you're going to pull a tile, and then you move into that. Now this has got 1 bad meaning on it. So the white skulls indicate a yellow dude, and then we are going to, let me get the rest of my dice out here. We're going to figure out what kind of a combat method he's going to attack us with. So you roll the dice in here, and so we have one goblin, and we have a side-to-side swipe is how he's attacking us. And so then we put our goblin in there, and now the deal is we have to get a 4 or better, right? So what do we have to take on this goblin? Well, versus we're going to hit him with an overhead strike, and we still get a +2, so we need to get 4 or better with that +2. Let's see if we can do it. 2 + 2 is 4, so we just did it, and we killed him just like that. And that's it. That's a simple combat. It's all resolved in one go. And then there's no treasure or anything in this one. So then we can, at this point, we had played this card. We would discard it. We can refresh our cards, draw a new card, and then go into the next room. So then we would pull our room. Now, this is a little bit out of sequence here, but here we go into here. Let's just say that we did get a treasure from the last room, and it was a rope, right? So in this particular tile, it is a chasm, and we need a rope to get across that bridge. So we have this rope here, and this particular piece does not exist in the game. I created it myself, which is a little rope bridge. So once you find the rope, you can play this out. You've fashioned yourself a little rope bridge, and then you can cross like so. But we have one red meanie now to fight. So here we go. We've got another goblin who's coming at us with a thrust. So then we would find the red goblin here, and he's got a thrust that he's coming out with. We're going to do a side-to-side swipe, which gives us +2, and so we're going to just swing it here. Ooh, 6 is a unblockable hit. We killed that guy. So there it is. That's kind of how it works. You adventure through. There's 12 tiles. The last tile is the room with the princess in it, and yeah, so if you adventure around, you get treasure. If you get enough gold, you can make your way back to the stair area, and then you can buy things, right? So there's been some fan rules where as soon as you have the gold, you can just buy things. But, I think the game lends itself to be played how the designer had envisioned it. And so as you go back through each room, you would, if there's multiple monsters that you would have been attacked with the first time, you are just fighting monsters at half, right? So here's an example. So instead of fighting 2, if you're making your way back through this tile, you would only fight 1, etc. like that. Anyway, this game is great. I had a huge fun time building this thing, and if you have a chance to check out Dungeon in a Tin, you guys, highly recommend it. It's a blast.